So in this video, we're going to take a look at how the recently announced UK budget is going to impact UK holiday makers, and we're also going to see how recent announcements as well are also going to impact UK expats living over here in Europe, including me. So I'm down here in Palmanova. I'm on the far side of Son Matias beach. With bad news comes great views. So let's turn the camera around and I'll try and bring you up to date with a couple of really key points about the UK budget. It's going to affect your holiday, or it's going to affect you living over here in Europe too. So I think that the big news coming out of the budget yesterday is about the stealth tax, and this means that tax thresholds have been frozen until 2031. What does that mean? That means that when your wages in the UK rise with inflation, those tax thresholds do not move. So therefore it means that you're gradually going to enter quite possibly a different tax bracket, and you're going to be taxed more on your earnings. And this is going to take place gradually over 5 years. What else is that going to mean? It's going to quite possibly mean that you're going to have less disposable income too, which means that you're going to have less to spend on holidays. Why is that important over here in Mallorca? Well, because the UK is the main source market here for holidays, for holiday makers, and for people coming over here, filling up the hotels, coming over here on holiday. And if in the next 5 years we're going to be seeing the UK population not earning as much as they once did, well, that's going to mean bad news, not just for this island, but for tourism in general. And if you think it's going to be cheaper to holiday in the UK, well, the green light has been given for local authorities to impose a tourist tax. Sky News says the budget opens doors to tourist tax in England, and the government's new rules will allow cities to more easily impose fees on all types of short-term accommodations, putting the country in line with many of its European peers. If also applied, British tourists holidaying at home and not just overseas ones could potentially raise millions more. And Sky News has put this figure to around 250 million. So there you have it. Apparently Rachel Reeves is not done yet, and I'm sure we'll have more exciting tax news coming soon. Now we're entering Black Friday weekend. I did make a video about this a couple of Mondays ago. I'll drop a link to it in the description text below. Go and check it out. Also check out my affiliate link as well to holidays, because I did mention that now is quite possibly going to be the best time as well to secure your holiday, not because of price, but because of availability. And we're seeing hotels over here booking up very, very quickly for next summer, particularly for peak time, so for July and August, and for all of the school holiday periods too. But are we going to see a shift in booking patterns from 2027 onwards? And what's it going to look like in 2031? When people are going to be having less disposable income? Are there going to be less holiday makers over here? Well, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in comments. I know a lot did come out of that budget, and I did hear the Macmaster, I did hear Lee on his YouTube channel talk about Rachel Thieves, or Rachel Reeves, and what she's also done to the electric car industry as well. But anyway, enough about that. Let's turn the camera around. Let's go and take a walk down Son Matias beach. But it's not looking good. It's not looking good in terms of tax. And do you know what? I've got another news story for you as well, and I'd love to know your thoughts about this. It's about expats. It's about UK expats living in Spain, but more about that in just a second. But for now, let's go and check out the beach. So there are a few people over here today. I have just had a lovely chat to a lady walking her dog. But just coming along the beach, look, it seems like I'm now the only person down here. Shade is starting to fall over Son Matias beach. So with that so-called fiscal drag, and that's the economic term for freezing those tax thresholds, why has Mallorca got to be careful? Well, over the past 12 months, we've seen prices soar over here on the island, whether it's getting a cocktail in key resorts, or indeed, if it's just going out for a menu del dia, a set menu lunchtime deal. Because just the other day, it was reported that an average menu del dia over here in the Balearic Islands is more expensive than you're going to find anywhere in Spain. The current average price is around €16, and in fact I saw up in Alcudia this summer it was looking more like €18, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we didn't see it hitting the €20 mark. The whole menu del dia is supposed to be a really affordable way of eating over here. It's a great way to eat out if you're on a budget. The minute we hit €20 for a menu del dia, I think we're going to be in trouble over here. I really do. But like I said, I think we're going to have to be careful over here with the pricing of things, and particularly with our main source market not having as much money for things as well, moving on into and towards 2031. Now it is eerily quiet over here, absolutely eerily quiet. It really is over here in November, obviously. We saw in my live stream from over here in Palmanova the other weekend the closing party for Siso Beach. Just coming up by the olive tree here. Now, I do have news for you because over the winter, Origin Bar is not going to be opening. You may remember last year, the past few years, they had the Christmas domes, but this year, they're not opening at all. And the only place that we have open over here on the Son Matias beachfront, it seems, is the Cantina Sol restaurant. They've got some little bit of music playing out, but unfortunately, no takers in the restaurant area. As I said, it's rather chilly over here at the moment, and the lone person I saw sunbathing earlier has picked up their deck chair and left the beach for the day. You can see actually how wet the sand is as well, and that's following the thunderstorm that we had last night. And it looks like they're doing some tree clearing down here in Palmanova today. You can see the truck here is full of palm tree bits, tidying up the resort for the season ahead. Okay, and I've got some more budget news for you too, and well, it's not going to affect you guys, the holiday maker, it's going to affect us expats living here in Spain, us British expats, because well, there's also been an article in the iPaper today, and the headline is, I'm an expat planning to draw a UK state pension and the budget could ruin my retirement. And it goes on to say Britons living in countries like Spain and Italy could end up working until their late 70s. Oh my goodness, that's going to be fun, isn't it? So this is all really bad news for people like me and other British expats living in Europe. The iPaper goes on to say news that the government is changing the rules around people living abroad and paying into a state pension has come as a blow to British expats in countries like Spain and Italy. Chancellor Rachel Reeves announced the change in her budget speech on Wednesday, saying the Conservatives allow thousands of people abroad to buy their way into the state pension for as little as £3.50 a week, debasing the purpose of our pension system. Reeves added that she would abolish the system that allowed expats who have only worked in the UK for a few years to pay a relatively low voluntary national insurance contributions across a state pension, increasing the time that someone has to live or work in Britain to 10 years and increasing the contributions they must pay. Now I must admit I'm guilty of that. I pay about £3.50 a week and fingers crossed I'll get a state pension, but it's not looking good, not on the basis of the budget news, because they are going to make pensioners wait a lot longer now to get access to the state pension, which is why if you're an expat over here, whether you're an expat over here in Spain or elsewhere in Europe, it's very important you make other provisions and don't rely upon a UK state pension. Now they've given a few case studies in this article. I'll drop a link in the description text below, but one particular person, she's called Miss Smith. It's not me. It's actually a case study from a nurse here. She does say, my plan was to retire in Spain on a British pension and I don't know if I'll be able to do it now. So the budget announcement also caught out Italy-based plumber and electrician Paul Roberts off guard when his sister called him from Liverpool to relay the terrible news. He said, I was fixing a kitchen sink of a client near Rapallo and it came as a shock. If the UK plans to go ahead, I can say ciao to my UK pension and will have to work until I'm at least over 75. And this is what this 50-year-old told the iPaper. He left London 25 years ago and has been living in a little village in Italy and has been working as a handyman. And this is after just working for 3 years in London as a plumber. And he's continued to pay his relatively low national insurance contributions as I do and as many other expats do over here. So he says, does this mean I need to return to the UK to work for another 7 years to reach the 10-year new target in the budget? He questions whether new rules would apply retrospectively to long-term expats rather than just to people moving abroad now, and how much it would be to increase the national insurance contributions. He also says as well, thought of setting up a private or public Italian pension fund, as I had my UK one. But if I had to do that in Italy now, I doubt I could even apply at my age. And then what happens to my UK pension I've built during these past few decades? Well, really, technically, if you're working in Europe, you should be paying into the system anyway. I certainly am. So fingers crossed, I'm going to get a Spanish pension, but it is going to affect many Brits and many expats living abroad, thinking that just by paying their £3.50 a week that they're going to be able to retire on a full UK pension. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I've been thinking I've been onto quite a good thing moving over here to Spain and just paying £3.50 a week and also getting a UK pension in addition to my Spanish pension as well in the future. Should this be allowed? Well, on the basis that it looks like you guys over in the UK are going to be pretty cash strapped in the future, I'm not so sure it is such a great idea. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, let's keep going along Son Matias Beach. I'm not going very far in this video. I will be back to make some more content in the future from over here in Palmanova, but I just thought I'd just talk about what's happening in the UK budget, and also I want to hear what you guys think about it too. Anyway, let's turn the camera around. The wind is picking up, so let's get down the far end of the beach. So I can hear some drilling taking place over at the Son Matias Beach Hotel. Wonder what they've got lined up for 2026. We will find out in just a few short months. And as we come up to the far side of Son Matias Beach here, I see what looks like some very optimistic sunbeds and beach umbrellas. I think they're going to be removed in the next couple of days. I'm absolutely sure of it. I can't see these staying on the beach as we head on into December. It always seems like quite a good idea at the end of October to extend the season. And then you get a day like this when we have 14 degrees and it's feeling very, very cold. I'm sure this looks completely different on your TVs or your iPads back home. But I'll tell you now, it's feeling a lot like winter over here in Mallorca. And as we saw as well, look, the trucks have been out. They've been pruning the palm trees over here. They're obviously looking a little less bushy than normal, but hopefully in good shape for next summer. Okay, so if we're going to bring you some doom and gloom, at least it's in a nice setting. You can't dispute that the setting over here is absolutely glorious. So in the meantime, I look forward to hearing about your comments about what you think about everything I've talked about in this video. I also may make some living in Mallorca content as we roll on through the winter. There's only so much trekking through empty resorts that I can do. But in the meantime, I'm going to drop a couple of videos that bring both here and here on YouTube. You can also find me on Facebook and on Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.